Gurm August, Chair, and thank you all for your attendance here at the Joint Oireachtas Committee. It is highly technical. I suppose we come at, or I come at it from the more the human side of it, and I don't envy your task, and I hope you can help me with mine. The damaging effect that the whole mica situation had on individuals and on their homes is just devastating and can't be overstated. And then in terms of the construction sector generally and the damage to confidence, let's say, in it. So really do appreciate all of the work that you have done to date. And as the Chair indicated, I suppose what we would like to come out of the committee with is even greater confidence that going forward people can have confidence in the construction sector generally, but in the materials that are being used. And I say, and we talk about these materials, concrete, it's hopefully a product of the past, but it's still being used in every building site today in the country. So I have a number of questions for you, and I suppose a lot of them are about the new organisation that has been set up under Dublin City Council on behalf as a shared services function for the 31 local authorities. And I'm fairly certain I heard you say that you have responsibility for the technical compliance, for the formal compliance of the construction products. But are you explicitly excluding operational compliance? Is that what I heard from your statement? That's my first question.
So is that right?
The market surveillance. Miss Phelan, sorry, excuse me, Miss Phelan.
The market surveillance of construction products is set out in the construction products regulations, and we verify the technical and the formal compliance. The operational compliance is a matter for the factory production control certification system. Okay, that's what I thought I heard, and I just wanted to be sure of that. And then in terms of the national building control and I recognise that the inspections that you've undertaken, the 48 reactive inspections, am I to read from that there's no proactive inspections? The proactive inspections are set out under the National Market Surveillance Strategy, and they are listed for the construction products that we target each year. Okay. And that's specified by risk assessment, yeah. Okay, and how many of those were carried out? We carried out 156 of those. Okay, great. And then in terms of the enforcement and prosecutions, does that fall within your remit? I know you can direct, but if they don't comply with your directions? We request information under Section 11 of the Construction Products Regulations, and then there are times we have to request corrective actions, and issuing an Article 14 corrective action, and all of the corrective action notices that we issued have been followed through, and the product either taken off the market or brought into compliance. If that doesn't work, then we refer to the Minister to take the product off the market. Okay, so it is fair to say that there is 100% compliance where, is that an accurate statement, where you've identified issues? All cases, the cases of engagement where we've engaged in corrective action, we've either brought the product into compliance or the product has been taken off the market. So we have been quite effective in that respect. And can you explain a bit to the committee about your resources and the amount of, I suppose, engagement that's required to achieve that level of compliance? Like 100% compliance is very impressive, and I'll give that to my colleague Richard Butler. Okay, Mr. Butler.
Well, I suppose we're a small office. We've 6 of the staff, 4 technical people, I'm Mairead, and 1 non-technical person to cover the country.
To what do you attribute your success at achieving 100% compliance?
Well, I don't know whether you can say that you've achieved 100% compliance. It's always someone going to get through the net. So it's not that we just have to be vigilant. And the formal compliance is easy because it's a paperwork check. technical, needs to be tested and verified by testing. And that can take a time period to get that done.
What sort of time period is involved?
Well, you're dependent on laboratories and that to do the testing. So it's really...
And what happens in the interim? Is the product suspended?
Well,
while you're going through that testing process?
No, because it's really checked to see if the product is compliant. So we're assuming that the information that the manufacturer has in the test that they had is compliant because they've gone through the process of factory control process and all that, and drawn up the declaration of performances at CE market.
And how long does that process take, roughly?
It could take between a month to 3 months, depending on.
Okay. Okay. And then another question, and this actually is to do more with the building control. That it was this actually is to the department. Sorry. Back in 2015, the regulations for the opt-out, for new single dwellings. In the building control regulations of 2015, that opt-out facility, has that been completely removed?
So yeah, SI 365 allows for an opt-out from certain parts of what's known as the BCAR system, or the building control processes that were introduced in 2014. And that is for one-off houses in a single unit site.
And that is still in place?
That is still in place.
Okay. And was it reviewed?
So as part of ongoing building control inspections and measures, one-off houses are subject to that. It should be noted that building regulations applies to all works regardless. These are the building control and administrative measures, so they are subject to inspection, and they are dealt with in the same way from a building control process, but a formal review of the levels of non-compliance, that hasn't been carried out on it.
Are there any plans to?
Yes, we are keeping it under review.
My understanding of it was that, and I'm trying to think when the report was that back, the report which was done by a previous under the previous government on the concrete blocks, the defective concrete blocks, that there had been a recommendation to actually not just review that opt-out for single dwellings, but to actually review and remove that facility for an opt-out on the single dwellings. Am I correct?
The concrete, the panel that looked into concrete blocks and the situation in Donegal and Mayo did make a recommendation to carry out a review of SI 365 and the impact of that. And as I said, it is subject to the same building control inspections around the country, and there is activity in that space, but a formal review of the differences in levels of compliance hasn't been compiled.
Okay, that's fine for the moment. Chair.